Hey y'all, welcome to LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Now, in very controversial fashion, Becky Lynch pinned Bianca Belair at SummerSlam in 26 seconds to win the Smackdown Women's title. Now, I would consider myself Team Bianca, so I wanted to show y'all just how ridiculously short 26 seconds is. And by doing that, the intro today is only going to be 26 seconds long. So here we go. Robo Tamina, start the timer!
Did I miss the intro? I know it's supposed to be short today.
Wasting time. So to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of the inaugural Smackdown Women's Champion, I wanted to review the figure that represents that moment.
How are you planning on doing one of your intros in 26 seconds? Everyone knows how long-winded you are. I feel like it's not possible for you to try and make a comedic intro in that short amount of time.
Oh my god. Jacket! God, Comer Alexa, you wasted all my freaking time! You know what, Comer Alexa? Sometimes you could be a big piece of... So all jokes aside, even though in the feud that's currently between Bianca and Becky, I consider myself Team Bianca, I'm a huge fan of Becky Lynch and always have been. And she's done so much for the growth and development of the women's division, and it's really good to have her back. So I wanted to celebrate that and do some unique and fun videos. Now, I have been working on a figure evolution of all of her figure releases thus far. It's going to be like a figure history, but just covering the figures thus far because she will have more in the future. So I've been really excited to do that. But today, since we just celebrated the 5-year anniversary of the inaugural Smackdown Women's Champion being crowned, I wanted to review the figure that represents that. So here it is, the Walgreens exclusive women's division Becky Lynch Elite. Alright, so let's start off taking a closer look at this figure mint on card. Now I am going to first off say that this Walgreens exclusive women's division elite line is like a dream come true for me being a women's wrestling figure collector. But unfortunately, I didn't get into collecting until way after these were predominantly released in the stores. But the sad thing is, you can still find these figures at some Walgreens, and these are really great women's elites. So I just wanted to get that aside because I love this line. I wish they would continue it. But anyway, taking a closer look at this box, we have Becky standing there with the elusive Smackdown Women's Championship we'll talk about. So, as far as displaying this MOC, obviously this is a great figure to display MOC because we get the image here. You know, we have Becky there, we have the Smackdown Women's Championship, signifies the inaugural championship when she won that match. So I think it is a good figure to display, mint on card. However, my box is a little beat up. So I am going to open this up because, let's be honest, I need more Smackdown Women's Championships for display. Now we have her name on the front. We have a photo on the side. Other side, we have like a red screen image of her holding the title when she won it. And on the back here, we actually have the night that she won the Smackdown Women's Championship. So that's nice. Now, I do have a fun story about that Sasha Banks I will tell down the road. It's a very special figure to me. But yeah, so this box is pretty cool, but mine is banged up, so let's open it up and take a closer look. Becky Lynch, Women's Division Elite, released in 2017. This attire is from Backlash 2016, which took place on September 11th in Richmond, Virginia. On this historic night, Becky Lynch would be victorious in a 6-pack elimination challenge to be crowned the inaugural Smackdown Women's Champion. Alright, so my overall first impressions of this figure are actually pretty good. I think it's a unique figure. I think it stands out. But before we break down the figure piece by piece and look at her face scan, her attire, I wanted to cover the grail for women's wrestling figure collectors. And that is the accessory she comes with, the Smackdown Women's Championship. Now, this Elite Pack was the first time I ever got this. And Y'all, Mattel does not release the Smackdown Women's Championship very often, honestly. I did just get it in my Survivor Series Bayley Elite, but shoot, I had this one, and this is my one and only Smackdown Women's Championship for the longest time. I actually at one point had more Glow Smackdown Women's Championships than regular. So I did also get one in the Ultimate Becky Lynch figure, but Mattel for some reason or another has not released this too often, and that's too bad. But yeah, obviously, because this is such a significant historic night, they had to include this with her, and I'm glad they did because, dear Lord, we need more of these. Alright, so taking a closer look at her face scan, I'm just going to be honest and come out and say it. To me, this looks nothing like Becky Lynch at all. Now, it is very important to note that this was before the True FX face scan technology, so yeah, it really doesn't look like her, in my opinion. I think the hair sculpt is really nice, where it's got a little braid on the side. It's pretty messy, and we have that iconic orangish color. I think that's really cool, but the face misses its mark. Now, you'll see in the Becky Lynch figure evolution video I'm going to do, she's had worse. Believe me, she's had way worse scans, or sculpts, I guess you can say. But yeah, this one to me misses the mark, but I actually don't mind it a whole lot compared to some of them. Now let's look at her attire. Alright, so moving on down to her attire, I think this might be the best part about the figure because it is a very unique attire for Becky, even for the time, and I think they did a pretty good job translating that to figure form. Now, taking a closer look here, that top is unfortunately just painted over a generic sports bra mold, and that kind of stinks, especially because if you look at her belly button, she has the Victoria's Secret body paint dimple belly button that drives me wild. However, she does come with this unique belt mold that goes around and fits nicely. Looking closer at that, it's got a nice little texture on there. In the front of this, I thought it was smudged, but I do have two of these, and this is how it's supposed to look. The little gears that are molded on her belt are supposed to be gold, and the rest of it red, so they did a pretty good job there. Now, she also has these arm sleeves painted on, black. Moving on down, the color of her shorts are a little darker. You have to help me in the comments. Colorblind, hard for me to see. But I think they're a brownish, maroonish brown color. But either way, they put a lot of attention to detail here with a little intricate gold design going on the front each side, with a black line going around the waist all the way around. We have this black and gold intricate line pattern on the back, along with black pockets painted on. Moving on down, she has these maroon knee sleeves painted on with an intricate gold and black pattern that looks really good. And her boots are that maroon color with kick pads, a gold toe, and a gold heel. So yeah, I actually think this attire looks really cool. And even though Becky didn't wear it a whole lot, honestly, it's just so cool to have a unique attire from Becky in figure form. And here's one last look at the Walgreens exclusive Women's Division Elite, Becky Lynch. So as far as availability goes, you can get this Becky Lynch off eBay for about $25 to $35 shipped, which is a pretty good price. But to be honest with y'all, if you go to your Walgreens or go to a random Walgreens, you might actually find this figure on the peg still, which is crazy to say, but you might. Now with that being said, I give the Women's Division Walgreens exclusive Becky Lynch Elite an overall score of a 6.5 out of 10. I think it's a serviceable Becky Lynch figure, but she definitely has had better. Has she had worse? Yes, and you'll see that in the Becky Lynch Evolution video, but I think it's a decent figure. Now, the moment that this represents is iconic and historic, and that alone makes me feel like I need to get a better conditioned box to keep MOC, but this is a loose score, and I think it's a cool figure. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. For a first look at all future women's wrestling figures and some throwback reviews, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and join the community. If you want to support LumberJillville, head on over to ProWrestlingTees/LJV and buy some merch. Also, the Treasurer and I have a podcast released every Wednesday at 6 a.m. titled LumberJillcast, wherever you listen to them. Now, stay tuned for the evolution of Becky Lynch figures, which should be coming out fairly soon. Also, Nyla Rose Unrivaled Series 7 should also be here this month, so look for that. But with that being said, have a great night, y'all.